The power of bedtime nutrition. A science-based strategy to preserve muscle and thrive as you age. Introduction. The overlooked key to muscle preservation. What if I told you that one of the most overlooked factors in preserving muscle mass as you age isn't what happens in the gym, but what happens in your kitchen, specifically, right before bed? This isn't the setup for a late-night infomercial promising miracle results. It's a science-backed insight grounded in emerging research on nutrition timing, sleep physiology, and a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. If you're over 40, trying to maintain strength, or simply wondering why muscle seems harder to keep than it used to, this conversation is for you. Starting around age 30, most of us lose 3 to 8% of our muscle mass per decade. Not just athletes, but everyone. By age 60, this loss can make everyday tasks like climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or maintaining balance more challenging. Muscle isn't just about aesthetics or athletic performance. It's metabolic gold. It regulates blood sugar, improves insulin sensitivity, protects bone health, and plays a critical role in healthy aging. A 2014 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that low muscle mass is a stronger predictor of mortality than obesity in older adults. Let that sink in. Your muscle mass may matter more for your longevity than your weight. So why does muscle loss happen, and what can we do about it? Over the past decade, researchers from institutions like Stanford, Maastricht University, and others have uncovered a deceptively simple strategy. What you eat before bed might matter more than you think. This isn't about guzzling protein shakes at midnight or chasing fads. It's about understanding how sleep, metabolism, and nutrient timing interact to preserve muscle and enhance vitality. In this comprehensive guide, we'll explore 7 science-backed ideas that are reshaping how we think about muscle preservation, particularly during the anabolic window of sleep. We'll cover why a small dose of protein before bed can reduce overnight muscle loss, how anabolic resistance changes muscle protein synthesis with age, the role of insulin and blood sugar in muscle maintenance, why protein quality and personalization matter more than total grams, how resistance training amplifies nutrition's effects, the critical role of sleep in recovery and muscle repair, how gut health influences nutrient absorption and muscle function. This isn't just about muscle. It's about food justice, sustainability, and long-term vitality. Whether you're in your 30s lifting weights or in your 70s aiming to stay mobile, these insights can help you age stronger, healthier, and more independently. Let's dive into the science and see what bedtime nutrition looks like when we listen to the data. Section 1. The bedtime nutrition breakthrough. One of the most intriguing findings in recent nutrition science comes from a study conducted at Maastricht University, published in the Journal of Nutrition in 2015. Researchers explored whether consuming protein right before bed could enhance overnight muscle protein synthesis, MPS, the process by which your body repairs and builds muscle tissue while you sleep. The participants were healthy older men, and the intervention was simple. A modest 40-gram dose of casein protein consumed 30 minutes before bedtime, after a full day of activity and a standard dinner. The results were remarkable. The protein group showed significantly higher rates of overnight MPS compared to the placebo group. This suggests that simply shifting the timing of protein intake closer to sleep can help your body hold onto more muscle overnight. To be clear, this isn't about chugging protein powder at 10 p.m. every night. Instead, it highlights a critical insight for those over 40, particularly those experiencing age-related muscle loss. Sarcopenia. When you consume protein may be nearly as important as how much you consume. This phenomenon is tied to anabolic resistance, a hallmark of aging where muscles become less responsive to the signals that trigger growth, such as dietary protein or exercise. Think of it like a radio with a fading signal. The older you get, the harder it is to tune in clearly. To keep the music playing, you need a stronger, more strategic signal, and bedtime nutrition is one way to achieve that. Why does this matter? Sleep is a critical window for tissue repair. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, repairs DNA, and rebuilds tissues, including muscle. However, MPS requires a steady supply of amino acids. If you finish dinner at 6 p.m. and go to bed at 11 p.m., your body may run low on available amino acids by the time repair processes peak, limiting muscle maintenance. A light, protein-rich snack before bed, particularly one with slow-digesting proteins like casein or certain plant-based blends, provides a sustained release of amino acids throughout the night, supporting this repair window. Practical options include a small bowl of unsweetened Greek yogurt with chia seeds, 15-20 g protein, a scoop of pea or rice protein blended with water or almond milk, 20 g protein, a handful of edamame or a small portion of lentil soup, 15 g protein. For omnivores, cottage cheese or a casein-based shake, 20-25 g protein. These aren't bodybuilder meals. They're sleep-friendly, nutrient-dense choices that align with your body's natural rhythms. Importantly, this strategy doesn't mean eating heavy meals late at night, which could impair sleep quality and undermine recovery. A 2019 study in sleep found that large, high-fat meals close to bedtime increased nighttime awakenings, reducing time in restorative deep sleep stages. Another myth to address: does eating before bed cause weight gain? Research from the National Institutes of Health (NIH) and Tufts University shows that weight gain is driven by total calorie intake, not meal timing. In fact, a small, high-protein snack in the evening may reduce late-night cravings and improve sleep quality, potentially aiding weight maintenance. A 2017 study in obesity found that evening protein snacks improved satiety and reduced morning hunger in older adults, without increasing body fat. Action step: experiment with a modest, protein-rich snack, 15-20 g protein, 30 to 60 minutes before bed for 1 week. Track how it affects your sleep, hunger, and recovery, especially if you're engaging in resistance training. Choose high-quality, minimally processed options to nourish your body without disrupting digestion or sleep. Ethical note: if you opt for plant-based proteins like pea or soy, you're not only supporting your muscles but also the planet. Producing 1 kilogram of pea protein generates roughly 11 times fewer greenhouse gas emissions than 1 kilogram of whey protein, according to a 2020 analysis in Nature Sustainability. This small choice aligns personal health with environmental stewardship. Section 2. Anabolic resistance and aging. Anabolic resistance is a term you'll hear more often as research unveils its role in aging. Simply put, as we age, our muscles become less sensitive to the anabolic, growth-stimulating effects of protein and exercise. A 20-gram protein meal that triggered robust MPS in your 30s may barely maintain muscle in your 60s. This isn't a flaw. It's an adaptive response to cumulative factors like oxidative stress, mitochondrial decline, hormonal shifts, e.g., lower testosterone and IGF-1, and reduced physical activity. A 2021 review in Nutrients clarified that older adults need 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily to preserve muscle mass, significantly more than the outdated recommended dietary allowance (RDA) of 0.8 g/kg, which was designed to prevent deficiency, not optimize function. For a 150-pound, 68 kilograms person, this translates to 82 to 109 grams of protein daily, ideally spread across 3 meals to maximize MPS. The key mechanism here is the leucine threshold, the minimum amount of the amino acid leucine required to activate the mTOR signaling pathway, which drives MPS. Younger adults can hit this threshold with 15 to 20 grams of high-quality protein per meal, but older adults need closer to 30 grams, with 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine. A 2013 study in the Journal of Physiology found that older adults required approximately 3 grams of leucine per meal to maximize MPS, compared to 1.8 grams in younger individuals. Protein distribution is equally critical. A 2014 study in the Journal of Nutrition compared older adults consuming most of their protein at dinner versus those spreading it evenly across breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The evenly distributed group showed 25% greater MPS, highlighting the importance of balanced intake. For example, a 150-pound person might aim for breakfast, 25-30 g protein, e.g., tofu scramble with soy milk and walnuts. Lunch, 25-30 g protein, e.g., quinoa salad with lentils and tahini. Dinner, 30 g protein, e.g., tempeh stir-fry with edamame. Pre-bed snack, 15-20 g protein, e.g., Greek yogurt or pea protein shake. A fascinating twin study from the Finnish twin cohort underscores the power of lifestyle. Identical twins with different physical activity levels over decades showed striking differences. The more active twins, even in their 70s, had greater muscle mass, better insulin sensitivity, and lower systemic inflammation, despite identical genetics. This highlights a hopeful truth. While we can't control aging, we can influence how we age through strategic nutrition and movement. Action step. Assess one meal where you can increase protein quality or quantity. For example, add lentils to soup, tofu to a stir-fry, or a handful of nuts to a snack. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. Spread evenly across the day. Section 3. Insulin and blood sugar. The muscle connection insulin is often misunderstood as a fat storage hormone, but it's a powerful anabolic player in muscle preservation. When you eat, insulin rises, shuttling amino acids into muscle cells for repair and growth while suppressing muscle protein breakdown. As we age, however, insulin resistance, driven by sedentary lifestyles, ultra-processed foods, or excess visceral fat, impairs this process, reducing amino acid uptake and accelerating muscle loss. A 2016 study in diabetes care found that insulin resistance in older adults was associated with greater muscle breakdown and reduced MPS, contributing to sarcopenia. Conversely, improving insulin sensitivity can enhance muscle maintenance. The PRODIME trial, which followed over 7,000 adults, showed that a Mediterranean-style diet rich in plant-based fats, fiber, and polyphenol improved insulin function and metabolic health. Plant-predominant diets, even if not fully vegan, are linked to lower rates of type 2 diabetes and better glucose control, partly by reducing intramuscular fat that interferes with insulin signaling. Timing matters here, too. Poor glycemic control after dinner, often from high-carb, low-fiber meals, can blunt overnight repair processes. If blood sugar remains elevated, your body prioritizes glucose regulation over muscle repair. A 2019 study in Cell Metabolism compared early versus late-night eating and found that earlier meals, e.g., dinner by 7 p.m., improved glucose regulation and fat oxidation, creating better conditions for muscle repair during sleep. A light, protein-rich, low-sugar snack before bed can further support this process without spiking blood sugar. Physical activity amplifies insulin sensitivity. Just 15 minutes of post-dinner walking can blunt glucose spikes, as shown in a 2018 study in Diabetologia. Resistance training, even twice weekly, increases muscle glucose uptake capacity, enhancing insulin's anabolic effects. A sample evening routine might include dinner, lentils, barley, leafy greens, and tahini, 30 g protein, high fiber. Post-dinner, a 15-minute walk to stabilize blood sugar. Pre-bed snack, Greek yogurt or a pea protein shake, 15-20 g protein. Ethical note: diets rich in whole plant foods, legumes, grains, vegetables not only support insulin sensitivity and muscle health but also have lower environmental footprints. Choosing plant-based meals aligns with food justice and sustainability, reducing reliance on resource-intensive animal agriculture. Action step. Tonight, try a balanced dinner with protein, healthy fats, and fiber, followed by a short walk. Notice how it affects your energy and sleep quality. Section 4. Protein quality and personalization. The idea that plant-based proteins are incomplete or inferior is a persistent myth rooted in outdated science. Proteins are made of amino acids, 9 of which are essential. Animal proteins, e.g., eggs, dairy, meat, are complete, containing all 9 in optimal ratios. Some plant proteins, like legumes or grains, may be lower in certain amino acids, e.g., lysine in grains, methionine in legumes, but a varied diet ensures all needs are met. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics confirms that well-planned plant-based diets provide sufficient amino acids for muscle maintenance across the lifespan. Protein quality hinges on digestibility and leucine content. Whey protein with a DIAS score of 1.0 and 10 to 12% leucine is highly effective for MPS. Soy, pea, and rice proteins have slightly lower leucine, 7 to 9%, but can match whey's efficacy with slightly larger portions. A 2020 meta-analysis in Advances in Nutrition found that higher plant-based protein intake was associated with lower all-cause mortality, highlighting benefits beyond muscle health. To optimize plant-based protein. Diversify. Combine legumes, lentils, chickpeas, grains, quinoa, oats, nuts, seeds, and soy foods for a complete amino acid profile. Portion size. Aim for 35-40 g of plant protein per meal to hit the leucine threshold. 2.5-3 g. Whole foods. Foods like tofu, lentils, and edamame provide fiber, phytonutrients, and antioxidants, supporting heart and gut health. The diet study, a randomized trial of over 600 adults, showed that food quality, minimally processed, vegetable-rich diets mattered more than macronutrient ratios for metabolic health and weight loss. Plant-based proteins align with this approach, offering nutrition and sustainability benefits. Producing 1 kilogram of beef protein requires 20 times more land and 11 times more emissions than pea protein, per a 2021 study in Environmental Science and Technology. Action step. Incorporate one new plant-based protein source into your evening meal or snack this week, such as lentils in soup or hemp seeds in a smoothie. Aim for diversity across the day. Section 5. Resistance Training. The blueprint for muscle protein provides the bricks, but resistance training is the blueprint that tells your body where to build. A 2019 study in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise showed that older adults engaging in twice-weekly resistance training, paired with 1.2 to 1.5 g/kg/day of protein, gained lean mass, strength, and mobility. These benefits persisted with consistent training. You don't need a gym. Bodyweight exercises, squats, push-ups, lunges, or resistance bands are effective. The key is progressive overload, gradually increasing resistance, volume, or complexity. A beginner's routine might include frequency, 2 to 3 sessions per week, 30 to 40 minutes. Exercises, squats, push-ups, rows, lunges, presses, 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Rest, 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Resistance training sensitizes muscles to protein, amplifying MPS. A post-workout or pre-bed protein snack maximizes this synergy, as shown in a 2017 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Action step. Try a 15-minute bodyweight workout, e.g., squats, push-ups, twice this week, followed by a protein-rich snack. Notice how your muscles feel the next day. Section 6. Sleep. The recovery window. Sleep is when muscle repair happens. During deep sleep, growth hormone peaks and tissues rebuild, but this requires amino acids. A 2018 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that 1 week of sleep restriction, 5 hours per night, reduced MPS by nearly 20%. Poor sleep also increases cortisol, a catabolic hormone that breaks down muscle. Regular resistance training improves sleep onset and duration, per a 2020 meta-analysis in Sleep Health. Fiber-rich meals stabilize blood sugar, promoting restful sleep, while tryptophan-rich foods, e.g., seeds, oats, yogurt, support serotonin and melatonin production. Avoid large meals or alcohol close to bedtime, as they disrupt sleep architecture. Action step. Create a wind-down routine. A short workout, balanced dinner, and a protein-rich snack 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Section 7. The gut-muscle axis. Emerging research reveals a surprising link between the gut microbiome and muscle health. The gut influences nutrient absorption, particularly amino acids, B12, iron, and magnesium. Beneficial microbes produce short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, like butyrate, which reduce inflammation and support MPS. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Nutrition found that older adults with greater microbiome diversity had higher muscle strength and physical function. Diets rich in fermentable fiber, legumes, oats, garlic, onions, and polyphenol, berries, teas, vegetables feed beneficial bacteria, while ultra-processed foods reduce microbial diversity. The American Gut Project suggests aiming for 30 different plant foods per week to boost microbiome health. Fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, tempeh, introduce beneficial bacteria, enhancing digestion and nutrient uptake. Action step. Add 1 fermented food, e.g., kimchi, yogurt, and 1 fiber-rich food, e.g., lentils, to your evening meal this week. Conclusion. A week-long challenge for long-term strength muscle loss isn't inevitable. It's preventable with small, intentional choices. This article has outlined 7 interconnected strategies. Bedtime protein snacks, overcoming anabolic resistance, improving insulin sensitivity, prioritizing protein quality, resistance training, optimizing sleep, and nurturing gut health. Together, they form a sustainable system for preserving muscle, enhancing metabolic health, and aging with resilience. Challenge. For the next 7 days, try one plant-based, protein-rich meal or snack in the evening, e.g., lentil soup, pea protein shake. Pair it with a 15-minute bodyweight workout twice weekly and prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Track how you feel: energy, hunger, recovery. Reflect. What if this became a lifelong rhythm? This isn't about perfection. It's about nourishment, strength, and dignity. By aligning your nutrition and lifestyle with science, you're investing in your future self. Join a community committed to aging well. Share your progress, ask questions, and let's grow stronger together.